Hi, thanks for coming back. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the 50s because I remembered a couple other little things. I remembered Tinker Toys and those logs that I used to play with, Lincoln Logs, I think they were called. Um, and I had a poodle skirt. I went to kindergarten over there near the Army base, and saddle shoes. And I remember the music on the weekends. My parents didn't play music in the house. Um, Not that they were against it, they just never played it. But the other parents would bring the radios outside on the weekends in the summertime. And I remember, forgive my singing because I know I can't sing, but ooh ee, ooh ah ah, ting tang, walla walla bing bang. One eye, one horn, flying purple people eater. Who wears short shorts? One, two, three, four. Tell the people what she wore. It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Save it for a rainy day or another day. I don't know. I think that was Perry Como. He was very popular back then with the ladies. Elvis was popular, starting up, and Ricky Nelson seemed to be the competition. I liked him better. I thought he was more handsome, and I used to watch him on Ozzie and Harriet. The other shows I remember back then, the Real McCoys, the kids' shows were uh, The Lone Ranger, Roy Rogers, Superman, um, Dobie Gillis was coming up, and I got a crush on Maynard G. Krebs, who later became Gilligan on Gilligan's Island in the 60s. Um, Three Stooges, which my dad hated. He didn't even want me watching it. I didn't even really like them that much. I always thought they were pretty stupid. Bozo the Clown. Everything was black and white. Howdy Doody, he was on, I think, Saturday morning. Captain Kangaroo, Romper Room. The TV was a box. Everything was black and white. Cartoons were Mighty Mouse, Felix the Cat, Mickey Mouse. Um, I don't really remember Bugs Bunny being in black and white. Maybe he came later. Not sure about that one. Um, oh, Shirley Temple was every girl's favorite. Everybody wanted to be Shirley Temple. Then the Mouseketeers Club was starting up. Okay, I wanted to be Annette because she had boobs, but I liked Cheryl's face and hair better. I used to look at the Sears catalog and daydream in the Sears catalog a lot. Um, let's see. Okay, my dad used to take me to the bar when I was little, and I hated it. It was very boring. He used to buy me Shirley Temples, and that was the non-alcoholic drink. And I don't know, maybe they still make them. I don't know. They probably have a different name for them now. And the boys' drink was Roy Rogers, I remember back then. And I used to sit at the bar with my dad and eat Wise potato chips and Planters peanuts. Later, I found out I'm allergic to peanuts, but didn't know it back then. And my mom used to yell at my dad and scream at him about his drinking. My mom did not drink at all. And one day I remember that hanging pictures in the house, and my mom got upset probably about his drinking. That's what it always was. And she started throwing the tools, because he had the tools out, and started throwing screwdrivers, wrenches, hammer at him, and I was really scared. And I remember my mom telling me that when I was very little, baby even, maybe, I don't know, that she took me away one day. She was trying to run away because between my dad's drinking and my grandmother's prejudice, she was pretty miserable. So she took me and we ran away, but she didn't know where to go. So she went to, she just sat on a bench, she said, and it was nighttime. And I got so bit up with mosquito bites that she decided to come back home. I remember her telling me that. When we were little, we used to go outside in the summertime and catch bumblebees, the fuzzy kind that with the stripes, the yellow and black stripe, fuzzy ones with a jar. They liked the clover a lot, and we would put some clover in the jar, and we would also look for four-leaf clovers in the lawns. And I remember the mosquito truck coming along with the big cloud of poison and the ice cream trucks coming. My grandpa was a mason. He had a diamond ring with a black onyx on it and a diamond. And he used to show that to me every once in a while. He didn't wear it. He didn't have any other jewelry that he wore. And he had a gun that he kept in his top drawer, and he used to take that out and show it to me every once in a while. Just a small handgun. And he collected coins. I wish I had some of them now. So growing up, then we moved to Long Branch. We had a Studebaker first, and then we got a Chevy, a light green Chevy. My mom learned to drive in that, and I used to go with them for her driving lessons. In my pajamas, I would lay in the back seat and try to sleep while she was learning how to drive. And she also got her citizenship. She went to school and got her U.S. citizenship, which we all were very proud about that for her. And I had the poodle skirt and the saddle shoes in kindergarten, and then we moved to the nice house near the beach. Big house, no shower, and one bathroom for all of us. There was another bathroom downstairs, but we could only use that shower in the warm weather because there was no heat back there. And then we had a washing machine, but no dryer. We would hang clothes outside, and in the winter we would hang clothes in the attic. Nice big house, made so solid with the thick plaster walls and 2x4s, and there was a furnace in the basement with dirt floor. I think I might have mentioned we have 4 fireplaces in the house, but they were all closed up previously. Mary Todd Lincoln lived there. She stayed there 1 or 2 summers after President Lincoln was assassinated. She and her son stayed there. It was a summer resort, Long Branch, right on the beach there, summer resort. And in the 1800s, it was the summer capital of the country. 7 presidents had summer homes there, worshipped in the church there, and a lot of history. So my house was 105 years old when we moved there, and we paid $11,000 for that nice big house. We had it could have been a garage. It was supposed to be a garage for us, but we never used it for a garage. It was actually a stable. It was like the size for a 2-car garage, and the dirt floor still. And that was way in the backyard. We had a pear tree, an apple tree, and I got a swing set, and everything was pretty good. I walked to school when I was 6 years old. There was a crossing guard, and the school was 3 or 4 blocks away. I was very shy in school when I was little. I always felt kind of like the outsider looking in for some reason. I remember that feeling. So uneventful, pretty much normal, I guess. And then my brother started to come into the picture. I remember when my parents announced that he was going to be born, that Mom was pregnant, and my grandmother had a fit. She didn't want to have to babysit. She just threw her arms up and like, oh no, like it was the end of the world to have another baby in the house. So they got a babysitter for him, and good thing, because when he wasn't at the babysitter, once in a while, I guess maybe somebody was sick or something, that it was not good. I remember one time he took a big kitchen knife, and took it down the street to play with at somebody's house with other little boy. He brought a knife over to play with. And then another time he took his little tricycle and drove it way down. He got in his head he wanted to go to the beach. He was only like 3 years old. Rode his tricycle all the way down to the beach and beyond. If you know Long Branch, over where the USO was, he was over by the USO. And a strange lady brought him home. This little kid, it was getting dark and he's riding his tricycle. She picked him up and brought him home. Good thing he knew his address. So then, as far as church goes, the bus used to come and get me. Since I moved, a bus from that Assembly of God church came and would pick me up and still take me there. But after, Vacation Bible School would come around. That was so much fun. They wanted us to invite people, so I invited the girls across the street from me. They were a couple of years older than me. And they came. They were the Presley girls, if any of you knew them from Long Branch. And I used to love to play with them because they were older. I thought they were so cool. And when they would invite me over to play, I was just on top of the world. That was the best thing that could happen to me. I didn't have any sisters, of course. But that's another thing. I had another skeleton in my closet. Okay, very sad. I was a very lonely child till I was 8 years old. My brother was born. I wished I had a sister, and I actually did. I had a sister in Japan that was left over there. She was 3 years old when I was born. So my mom had a baby before she met my dad. I don't know if she was married or not. I mean, I heard a story that they were engaged, or he died or something, who knows, maybe he died in the war or something. But she had this little girl, and she could not come over with us in 1953 when we came over from Japan, because it was not that far after the war, and they would not allow her. She couldn't legally come in because she was a Japanese citizen and she was not blood to my dad. So my dad promised my mom that he would get her over, and he said, they're in the process of changing the laws right now. It won't be long before she'll be able to come over. So my mom left her with friends. Her best friend, who had 4 kids of her own, and they took her in. And her name was Hiroko. And so I knew about her from the time I was able to understand that, and my mom would cry often about that, and my dad never did anything to get her over. And I guess my mom didn't know what to do, so she just cried. And my mom used to send her gifts. I remember she would show me, she'd send her a pretty dress, she'd send her a doll and things like that. And the lady who was taking care of her, she refused them and said that, if you can't buy for my 4 kids also, don't send anything, because I can't give gifts to just the one. It's not fair. So she cut my mom off. She treated Hiroko like her own and took good care of her, but she cut my mom off after a couple years or whatever. That she didn't stop sending letters and pictures, and sometimes my mom would cry. But that was something that I was not allowed to talk about outside of the house because back in those days, it was a really big, a bad thing to have an illegitimate child or whatever. So anyhow, that was another skeleton in my closet that was very, very, very sad my whole life up until this day. Um, I guess I'll jump around a little bit because I did get to, well, what happened was when she was 16 years old, a friend of my mother's, a Japanese friend of my mother, her American husband helped my mom to contact her when she was 16 in school through the Red Cross. They found out what school she went to and they contacted her, pulled her out of class, and told her, your mother in America would love to be in touch with you. And they started communicating and writing back and forth, pictures. And when Hiroko got married, my mom, I think she paid for the wedding, or at least she told me she did. She had the traditional kimono, beautiful Japanese with the big wedding headdress and all that stuff. And I saw the pictures and all. Very sad because she was 3 years older than me. We would have been close, and I missed not having a sister. I did get to meet her, and that's way in the future. I didn't get to meet her until I was in my late 30s. So that was good. And she came over here 3 times total. And I met one of her daughters who came. But there's more sadness to that story also for later. So here we are back in, okay, maybe that's enough for now. I think I'll shut it down for now. I don't want to make it too long, okay? Okay, see you next time.